Welcome back to the 21 Boom Guided Meditation. This is Coach Zach Feeney. I'll be your guide for the evening. Um, Avoiding aversion is the topic for this week. Aversion is the drive to avoid, escape, get rid of, numb out from, or destroy things we experience as unpleasant. It is the power behind the driven doing that keeps us entangled in a negative emotions such as depression, anxiety, anger, and stress. If you carefully investigate how you relate to unpleasant feelings, you will see that there are two crucial steps. An unpleasant feeling arises. Your mind reacts to the unpleasant feeling by trying, in one way or another, to avoid experiencing the feeling or the thing that caused the feeling. Most often, these steps get rolled together. We don't see them as separate and different. We just feel bad. By becoming more closely acquainted with this 1-2 pattern, you can take a powerful step toward freeing yourself from emotional pain. Why? Even if you can't do much about step number 1, the arising of the unpleasant feeling, with mindfulness, you can always do something about the second step. You can release the lock nut of aversion that keeps you tied to feelings you don't want. Deliberately turning to face, investigate, and recognize unpleasant feelings and your reactions to them is a powerful affirmation that you do not have to get rid of them. Instead, they can be held in awareness, seen for what they are, and met with conscious response rather than automatic reaction. The fact that most people who get clinically depressed have very similar negative thoughts tells us something very important. These thoughts are features of the depressed state, not us. When we conceive the negative thoughts and feelings of depression for what they are really, symptoms rather than me or the truth, we don't need to take them so personally, and we are less likely to react with aversion. It's quite likely that focusing on negative thoughts and thinking back to times when things were very bad for you may have made you feel low or sad. If that's true, now might be a good time to take a breathing space. The fact that doctors use a collection of features to diagnose depression has a vitally important message. It means these feelings and changes are all common symptoms of depression, not signs of personal failing and inadequacy. If we can see negative states of mind for what they really are, we can take them less personally. We react with less aversion, and we have a chance to act in ways that will let the states of mind pass, rather than get us stuck even deeper in them. So going into a sitting meditation for this week, mindfulness of breath, body, sounds, thoughts, and choiceless awareness. Allow the focus of your awareness to shift from sensations in your body to hearing. Bring your attention to your ears and then allow the awareness to open and expand so that there is a receptiveness to sounds as they arise wherever they are, wherever they arise. You can close your eyes at this time. There is no need to go searching for sounds or listening for particular sounds. Instead, as best you can, simply open your awareness so that it is receptive to sounds from all directions as they arise. Sounds that are close, sounds that are far away, sounds that are in front, behind, to the side, above, or below. Open to a whole space of sound around you. Be aware of obvious sounds and of more subtle sounds. Aware of the space between sounds. Aware of silence. As best you can, be aware of sounds simply as sensations. When you find that you are thinking about the sounds, reconnect as best you can with direct awareness of their sensory qualities, patterns of pitch, timbre, loudness, and duration, rather than their meanings or implications. Whenever you notice that your awareness is no longer focused on sounds in the moment, gently acknowledge where your mind has moved and then retune your awareness back to sounds as they arise and pass from one moment to the next. Mindfulness of sound can be a very valuable practice on its own, as a way of expanding awareness and giving it a more open, spacious quality. Whether or not the practice is preceded by awareness of body sensations or followed, as here, by awareness of thoughts. When you are ready, let go of awareness of sounds and refocus your attention so that your objects of awareness are now thoughts as events in the mind. Just as with sounds, your focused awareness on whatever sounds arose, noticing them arise, develop, and pass away. So now, as best you can, bring awareness to thoughts that arise in your mind in just the same way, noticing when thoughts arise, focusing awareness on them as they pass through the space of your mind and eventually disappear. There's no need to try to make thoughts come or go. Just let them arise naturally in the same way that you related to sounds arising and passing away. Some people find it helpful to bring awareness to thoughts in the mind in the same way that they might if the thoughts were projected on the screen at the cinema. You sit watching the screen, waiting for a thought or image to arise. When it does, you pay attention to it so long as it is there on the screen, and then you let it go as it passes away. Alternatively, you might find it helpful to see thoughts as clouds or birds moving across a vast, spacious sky, or as leaves moving on a stream carried by the current. If any thoughts bring with them intense feelings or emotions, pleasant or unpleasant, as best you can, note their emotional charge and intensity and just let them be as they already are. If at any time you feel that your mind has become unfocused and scattered, or it keeps getting repeatedly drawn into the drama of your thinking and imagining, you may like to notice where this is affecting your body. Often, when we don't like what is happening, we feel a sense of contraction or tightness in the face, shoulders, or torso, and a sense of wanting to push away our thoughts and feelings. See if you notice any of this going on for you when some intense feelings arise. Then, once you have noticed this, see if it is possible to come back to the breath and a sense of your body as a whole, sitting and breathing, and use this focus to anchor and stabilize your awareness. At a certain point, you might like to explore the possibility of letting go of any particular object of attention, like the breath, sounds, or thoughts, and let the field of awareness be open to whatever arises in the landscape of your mind and your body and the world. This is sometimes called choiceless awareness. See if it is possible to simply rest in awareness itself, effortlessly knowing whatever arises from moment to moment. That might include the breath, sensations from the body, sounds, thoughts, or feelings. As best you can, just sit completely awake, not holding on to anything, not looking for anything, having no agenda whatsoever other than embodied wakefulness. And when you're ready to bring the sitting to a close, perhaps return for a few moments to the simple practice of mindful awareness of the breath. Each time you begin a practice like this, remind yourself to look for experiences of aversion, moving close to any uncomfortable or unpleasant feelings, sensations, or thoughts, and notice how you are reacting to them, especially in the body. See if you can, little by little, come to recognize the effects of aversion. What does aversion feel like? Where and how do you experience it in the body? What effects does it have on your thinking? What is your own aversion signature, the characteristic pattern of body sensations by which you recognize that aversion is present? As you get to know aversion, see if it's helpful to actually say to yourself, here's aversion, whenever you notice it arising. From day to day, make a note of your observations. Investigating experience here means bringing a kind, interested attention to the experience itself, rather than thinking analytically about the experience. Investigation reveals and heals. This week's meditation begins by focusing attention on the breath. Then attention expands to a more spacious sense of the whole body, then to the sounds in the space around you, and finally to spacious, choiceless awareness. Both focused and spacious attention are invaluable to working with aversion. Focused attention steadies and gathers the mind, helping you stay present in the face of unpleasant or uncomfortable experiences. It helps you reconnect with the here and now when the mind's automatic reactions are taking you away to the past, into the future, or urging you to tune out into a state of unawareness. Spacious attention helps you to be aware of the bigger picture, not just unpleasant experience, but also how you are relating to the experience. It allows you to see if there is aversion around. Spacious attention gently counters the contracting effects of aversion on the body and mind, creating a sense of expansion and inclusion. It also allows a more balanced view. In aversion, attention narrows to focus only on what is unpleasant. It can then seem that all experience is a problem. Widening the focus to also include other parts of the body or other aspects of experience allows what is problematic to be held together with what is okay. We can see that not everything is a problem. Physical discomfort provides a wonderful opportunity to learn how to relate more skillfully to all kinds of unwanted experience, including emotional discomfort. These skills will free you from getting trapped in a depression, anxiety, and stress. When you become aware of physical discomfort, see if it's possible to intentionally bring your attention right into the part of the body where the experience of discomfort is most intense. Once there, explore with the gentle, interested attention the detailed pattern of sensations. What precisely do the sensations feel like? Where exactly are they? Do they vary over time? Do they vary from one part of the region of intensity to another? The idea is not so much to think about the sensations as to sense and experience them directly. You can use the breath to carry awareness into such regions of intensity, breathing into them, just as in the body scan. By deliberately moving your attention toward and right into the region of intensity, you reverse aversion's automatic tendency to move away from and avoid unpleasant experiences. You also give yourself the chance to see aversion itself more clearly. You may even begin to see the pains in the body for what they really are, not big bad things that we have to get rid of or away from at all costs, but constantly shifting and moving patterns of physical sensations that can be held in awareness and known. The skillful response to aversion is to recognize it for what it is, name it, aversion, treat it with respect, willingly allowing it to be present until it passes. As you continue to explore with gentle, soft attention how it affects your body. In using breathing spaces in everyday life, you acknowledge that there is strong emotion around and take a few moments to bring awareness to it, as thoughts, feelings, and body sensations. Simply allowing it to be there without judging it, without trying to chase it away or solve any problem. You then touch base wherever you are by returning to the anchor of the breath and to the grounded spaciousness of awareness of your body as a whole. In this way, you shift mental gears so that you bring a more responsive, balanced mind to the next moments of your day. Taking a breathing space will not necessarily mean that unpleasant feelings will no longer be present. The crucial thing is that your mind is now in a position to respond to them mindfully, rather than react to them automatically with aversion. The cornerstone of the whole of this whole program is learning to respond to unpleasant and difficult experiences by, as a first step, intentionally taking a breathing space rather than reacting automatically with aversion. If we were hit by an arrow, we would all experience physical pain and discomforts. But for most of us, it is as if following this first arrow, we are then hit by a second arrow, aversion, the suffering arising from the reactions of anger, fear, grief, or distress that we add to the pain and discomfort from the first arrow. More often than not, it is this second arrow that causes us the greater unhappiness. The crucial message of this image is that we can learn to free ourselves from the suffering of the second arrow. Why? Because we fire it at ourselves. And I wish you well with this practice going forward this week. I'm going to finish this off with a passage from Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.